Patty Murray got a brutal reality check. Let's analyze it.
Someone from the healthcare industry gives you $2 million, what do they get for it?
I do not regulate.
You have jurisdiction.
I do not regulate.
You have jurisdiction,
I do not
$2 million to put your face on TV.
During a Senate hearing, Patty tried to paint Sean as someone using his government position to advance private interests. But Duffy quickly turned the table, but bringing up her own donor connections, exposing her hypocrisy. And today, we're covering it all. So if you believe truth isn't partisan, hit the subscribe button and let's jump right into it.
I want to ask you about the bipartisan infrastructure law. As you know, it expires September 30th,
Yes.
and communities across our country are immediately going to lose access to about $37 billion in transportation funding, along with tens of billions in other critical funds in other agencies. So we have to address this infrastructure cliff in our 27 funding bills, or our cities, our airports, our transit systems are not going to have the funding that they need for vital projects in actually every one of our states. Meanwhile, we have a budget from the president, and he is proposing $500 billion more for the war budget, but his budget proposal does virtually nothing to prevent a $37 billion cut to this transportation funding. So I'll just be blunt. Is it the position of this administration that we should stop fixing our roads and bridges to fund a war abroad?
So we've actually increased the money in the base budget.
Because the cliff is this year, that is why it's critical.
But I never. If I came in and told you all what to do with advanced appropriations, you'd be offended by that. I have $114 billion, the biggest base budget in transportation ever submitted to Congress. But the advanced appropriations is not what I do. You all do the advanced appropriations.
For all the talk Democrats make about Congress holding the power of the purse, Patty is doing one of two things here. She's either acting clueless, so she can drag the Iran conflict into a hearing involving a secretary who has zero authority over it, or she's willfully misleading the public, hoping viewers don't understand how the process actually works. There's really no third option. You see, Sean doesn't get to appropriate money. His job is to submit funding requests. Then Congress decides what gets funded through the appropriations process. So if she really cares about keeping the programs alive, she knows exactly where that fight belongs. But once it became obvious this gotcha wasn't landing, she quickly moved on to the next talking point: gas prices.
But let me move on, because I do want to address this issue, because over 39 million Americans are expected to hit the road for Memorial Day weekend. And you are encouraging Americans to spend the summer road tripping across the country. But let me just ask you, how much did you rack up on gas during your Great American Road Trip? I understand that was paid for by groups and sponsors.
This
Is that
was
correct?
a nonprofit funded the Great American Road Trip.
The nonprofit actually solicited funding from private organizations.
Yeah, I did not, right.
Okay, do you know how much gas?
No, I don't.
You don't?
But I know it's not as much as it was under Biden, which was $5 a gallon.
Holy cow. Okay,
It's only
so
$4.50
just
now.
listen.
Okay.
Americans don't have corporate sponsors to pay for their gas. And for families that are hitting the road this weekend, the national average gas price is now $4.50 per gallon. That is more than 50% higher than before Trump's war in Iran, when gas was less than $3 a gallon. And I just want to make the point that families are seeing this at the gas pump, but they're also seeing it costing more for airline trips. The cost of a domestic flight is up 31% over last year. And they, by the way, are stuck paying ridiculous junk fees. Why? Because you decided to rip up some basic protections that gave people automatic refunds and hotels when their flight was delayed or canceled. So here's the problem. Here's how Americans see this.
Listen, there's no sugarcoating that gas prices are nearing the record highs we've seen under Biden. But this sudden concern coming from Patty is hard to take seriously, especially when she represents a state whose own policies have helped keep prices well above the national average for years. Sure, the Iran conflict has added pressure, and there's absolutely room to criticize the administration on that front. But watching Patty act like she just discovered high gas prices is pretty rich. Mind you, this is the same person who was praising the Inflation Reduction Act not that long ago. So spare us the outrage and at least be consistent. Murray then shifted to framing Duffy as someone advancing private interests. And that's when he brought up her own donors, leading to a heated back and forth.
I'll ask you a question. Maybe you can answer it.
Sure.
If I'm an airline executive and I paid $1 million for this Great American Road Trip, what would I get out of that?
From me, nothing.
Well, look, as I said, the deck that is out there says that if you give $1 million, you get 6 VIP invitations to receptions, you get to go to roundtables, you get to networking events.
If someone from the healthcare industry gives you $2 million, what do they get for it? What do you give
I do
them?
not oversee I do not regulate.
You have jurisdiction.
I do not regulate.
You have jurisdiction.
I do not
$2 million
regulate the
to put your face on TV, to buy steak dinners,
Mr. Secretary, listen,
to go on vacations.
Listen to my point here.
That's what you do. Welcome to MAGA. Welcome to Drill Baby Drill.
Mr. Secretary,
are you going to drill? Do
please.
you want to support lower gas prices? I welcome that. Let's drill. Let's refine. Let's pipe fuels across the country.
You obviously
have not been supportive of that.
Book of every one of us, so that instead of answering our questions,
I'm
you
answering
could attack.
your question. You're asking about gas prices. You have done everything you can to increase gas prices for Americans.
Exactly. It's always funny watching our lawmakers take the moral high ground when it comes to money in politics, especially when many of them have spent decades in Washington with very little to show for it. Take Patty, for example. She's been in the Senate since 1993, and over the last decade alone, her net worth has reportedly doubled. So hearing her lecture others about influence and special interests comes across as nothing short of hypocritical. And this isn't even unique to her. It's practically a bipartisan tradition at this point. But Sean wasn't about to let the argument slide and kept calling out Murray's absurd claims, saying this.
You deny that you got $2 million from healthcare? I can go down the list here.
Mr. Secretary, that is
Amgen gave you $140,000.
Mr. Secretary, it is my time.
Pfizer gave you $102,000.
I am asking to be able to ask a question here. I do
I'm
not
just pointing
need
out
an
your
attack
record.
by a secretary who is the witness at this table. That is out of order.
What did Big Pharma get for the $1.1 million that Big Pharma gave you? What did they get for it?
Mr. Secretary.
What did they get?
Seriously.
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 I want to know. I think America wants to know.
I find it
I got nothing from anybody.
You're not even going to acknowledge that this is a
no one
bad
gets anything.
look in America?
It's a bad look that you take
millions
of dollars.
My time. I find your answers out of touch and irresponsible.
There is no benefit that anyone gets. If I'm going to celebrate America 250, you gave me the ability to partner with America 250, and I did. You told me, this body said celebrate tourism and travel. And that's what I'm doing. All I'm saying is, America, go see your country.
Mr. Secretary, you're
Families
really good
are
at
beautiful.
talking.
We're going to go to Senator Britt.
And businesses around this country have leaned in to celebrate. If you don't want to celebrate America's birthday, I'm sorry.
Mr. Secretary.
But American businesses want to celebrate America's birthday. I'm sorry.
Now, while Sean caught plenty of heat over the reality-style show, he pushed back in an ex-post, saying, quote, career ethics and budget officials at the DOT reviewed and approved both my participation and individual travel in accordance with federal rules. The DOT Inspector General is also looking into a complaint related to it. Now, this isn't me defending Duffy, but if you zoom out, previous cabinet secretaries regularly appeared on late-night shows, entertainment programs, and all sorts of media to promote the policies. The difference is that this administration faces a much more hostile media environment. So, they've been choosing a different route to reach people. Now, that said, there's another side to this story. It wasn't that long ago that Kristi Noem found herself in hot water over similar optics. So, whether Duffy's explanation holds up remains to be seen.